So there I was at work, minding my own business shortly after lunch, when my boss interrupted me, totally unannounced. Of course, he completely misinterpreted my new power focus technique and started harassing me. I had half a mind to respond in a way that seemed appropriate, but I thought the better of it and decided to just sit there and take it. He was ranting about productivity, blah blah blah, and something about money, which got my attention because I've been thinking about asking for a raise. This is where things started going bad. I know the car looks cool, but it's supposed to be the new company car, and my boss has come up with this ridiculous idea that I should negotiate the purchase. Apparently this car was pretty important because he said it didn't matter how long it took, but that if I didn't get the best deal possible, well, let's just say there are a lot of unpleasant metaphors for being fired that my boss is disturbingly familiar with. As quickly as he snuck up on me, he left in a huff, leaving me to ponder my last car purchase. I had done my homework flipping through some local car sales ads, shopped around, and settled on a reputable dealer on the outskirts of town. I was firm and told him that I wasn't going to spend a dime more than $2,000 on a used sports car. I was savvy enough to convince him to include towing services in the $2,000, but when the car was finally delivered to the house 3 days later, I started having second thoughts about the purchase. Clearly, negotiating is not my kind of gig. At that point, I started to panic and ponder the idea of hiring someone who was experienced in this kind of thing. Someone persuasive, determined, and who has a reputation for getting things done and getting them done right. And that's when I realized I was heading in completely the wrong direction. Suddenly I remembered this book, You Can Negotiate Anything by Herb Cohen. It explained that the negotiation process doesn't have to be an adversarial process that favors the guy who can swing faster. With some dedication to research what it is I want, learn a little about the person or business I intend to negotiate with, and stay focused on the fact that time is one of my most important negotiating assets, I can level the playing field in any negotiation. And I do recall the boss saying to take as much time as needed. With renewed conviction, I tackled this purchase with confidence. I knew I had the upper hand, and instead of blowing an opportunity to prove myself by dumping a corporate account on the table, I used the simple power of negotiation to finalize a much more reasonable purchase. At that point, I was feeling like an animal, and I knew instead of going back to this, I was going to go back to this. I got a nice little check out of the deal and decided to redecorate my modular workspace so that it properly reflected my new status with the company. Only trouble was that I ran out of money and couldn't get the surveillance system I wanted. Oh well.